All right, all right. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is you to this Pastor Dow. We're out here straight way early this morning. Myself and a brother, and of course, if you look in the background, you can see that we're getting ready to work on the roof. We're getting ready to work on the roof. You see them up there moving around on the dining hall. The reason why we're having a rough time and we keep running up against problems with far as getting the roof or starting on the roof is because we have a lot of sporadic rain going on here today. And of course that, if you're going to have the roof exposed, we need at least a 2 or 3 day window. So now we're trying to invent other ways to come up with doing certain parts of it so that we can actually redeem the time while we're working on the roof. But I wanted to talk here this morning about something. I want to talk about how appalled I am nowadays when it comes to so-called religion and faith. And I want you to listen to me real close. This morning, first of all, let me suggest to you that if you do not have the book of the Apocrypha, the Apocrypha books, you need to go out and purchase you a set. And the reason being is because in the original 1611 King James Version of the Bible, they were in there. The Catholics have it in their Bible. But somehow, some way, somebody thought that they were inspired. I don't know who it was, but it has to be the anti-Messiah or the Antichrist who thought that he was inspired to actually remove these books from the Bible. Because when you read these books, you see the reason why that this nation took them out. And there's a reason why they took the books out of the Apocrypha. Because what it does, it exposes, if you can see, if you have eyes to see. And most time we do not see a lot of things until the word is preached to us properly. When the word is preached to us properly, then we're able to see a lot of things otherwise remains obscure to us. And that's the one reason why the people do not want preachers to have a voice, true preachers, and a word. And I was reading the book of First Maccabees this morning, and every time I read this passage, First Maccabees chapter 1 and 2, I literally shake my head because I clearly see what is going on today. And I know a lot of people don't like it and don't want to hear it, but the truth is the United States of America is nothing but the same people that you read about in First Maccabees is the same people, the exact same people of today. And it's a sad situation. And I'll tell you why it's a sad situation. It's a sad situation because in this country, they tell you you have freedom of religion. But then when you go and look at the book of First Maccabees, you find out what's going on. You see, this King Antiochus, he tried to make it so that all people would be one people, but he had certain laws that he passed. Number one, and of course, every religion in this world is against the Israelites. Psalms 83 tells you that clearly. All the Bible tells you that clearly. And so the devil raised up the religion called Christianity to confuse the masses of the people. And you have to understand, when these people were suffering these persecutions and going through these things, we were not here on this earth. We fell out of our mother's womb, and we're here in this particular situation, thinking and believing that whatever faith or religion is given to us is right, and we will not do our due diligence, but we love being religious. So this man put certain restrictions on religion. You can't circumcise your children. Now, circumcision is a Hebrew Israelite custom. It's our laws. And if you did that, they were going to kill you. They killed the women, hung the babies about their neck. And not only that, they forbid them to do sacrifices. Now, they did let them sacrifice swine's flesh on the altar. But doing the regular sacrifices to the Father, no, they forbid that. And notice, all these people are Greeks. And they made people profane the Sabbath day. And many of my people, the Israelites, were forced because, I'm doing a teaching right now in the assembly called Edom. Who is Esau, who's Edom, and what's going on. And what I'm doing, I'm walking it up so that people do not be confused as to what's going on. I'm walking history up because there's a lot of different dissenting viewpoints and perspectives out there when it's concerning who's Esau and who's Edom. And most people don't know who they are. And so I'm keeping things in proper order and perspective. Now, if you don't know me, you know I'm a preacher. I don't care what color or non-color your skin is. I'm just going to tell the truth based on what the truth is. It makes no difference to me whether you hear or forbear. I'm going to continue to prophesy to the wind. But let me get back to this. We have so-called freedom of religion in this country, but this religion that they give us and the so-called freedom of exercise of it is a religion that they have placed and put into order. Because as soon as you start practicing it, you're going to find out how that these laws are against you. You're going to find out that all these people who agree with your so-called freedom of religion, they are against you. And if you really, truly want to know you're on the mark, start following the Bible. You'll find out. Because it's amazing that everyone that's in all these different flavors of Christianity, they don't have any issue and trouble or problem whatsoever at all. You know the reason why? Because all the people of this land has been conditioned to submit to the laws of this land and the religion of this land. And as soon as you start, quote unquote, exercising your right or freedom of religion, you'll find out real quick, fast, in a hurry, how that these religious spirits and these people, number one, they're very hateful and vindictive. They hate you. They despise you. And they're going to start using the power of the system just like they did in the time of the Maccabees. And when the Greeks came in, they started using their laws, started using the power of the system, started using their armies, their police forces, and King Antiochus, just to make sure that these laws got implemented. You know what he did? He turned around and put officers in the provinces to make sure that every edict and every verdict and every law that he had passed and he put out was implemented and that it took place. That's what you call your modern day sheriff's departments, police departments, your judges, and all this other stuff. We're in captivity, and you just have to see it. But if you've been assimilated into this country, whatever they force feed you or whatever they feed you, you automatically assume it's right without doing any research. And so, you know, look what they did. They killed the women because the law said that you can't circumcise your child. Well, an Israelite is going to circumcise it. But also, what's the sad part about this whole situation? Here's the sad part about the whole entire situation. The sad part about it is that many of the Israelites consented to the laws of the Greeks or the Europeans. And you know, the persecution was just coming so hard upon them, they just chose to go ahead and submit and conform. But the other Israelites, few and far as they were in between, they chose to go into exile rather than submit to the wicked laws of this land. And we're all coming up on a decision in this country because, you know, the first thing that Satan is after is your children, the babies. And they set up a thing called the Department of Child Services. And they act like that they have your child in the best interest because, of course, you know, they want to shoot them up with snake venom and monkey pus and everything else. But we're facing the same conditions today as they were facing back then. It's just that people refuse to see it. And I sit and watched, we just had an episode not too long ago where a child was born. And the system tries best to actually take the child from the parents because they know that's where the power lies as far as commitment. They know that, you know, a mother and a father, you start talking about taking their child and stuff, just the laws of nature itself, talking about somebody's getting ready to experience some serious pain. And laws are not going to protect people when you start transgressing a natural law. And I'll give you an example. You know, for instance, I'm the type of father, you know, as a pastor, I've had Department of Child Services called on me once for some stupid allegation, and the system protects the people making the allegation, and they never, ever, ever, ever enforce any judgment upon them. And it's a sad situation. And so, you know, my wife and I, we were close to the brink of actually hurting this woman. And the law wasn't going to protect this woman. And so we did end up getting an attorney, defeating and winning the whole entire thing. But the bottom line is the stress and all the other mess that it caused was just totally unwarranted. It was false allegations. Nothing happened to these people. They're protected. It's just a wicked system we're living in. But I tell you what, if you want to know what I'm talking about, go read 1st and 2nd chapter of Maccabees, of the first book of Maccabees. It's a sad situation. The same thing going on there. You don't have freedom of religion in this country because all these Christians who work in these jobs, in the hospitals and all these other places and stuff, they'll do their job. But as soon as you go against Christianity or what they think, they're going to come against you. And you're going to find out that all these people have been assimilated. They're nothing but these modern day Greeks. That's all they are. They're modern day Greeks that we read about in the book of Maccabees.